Hey, what's up? It's Ricky Burke of CyberSec people. So in my role as a recruiter, I speak to a lot of people through the industry, from very senior right through to people looking to enter the industry for the first time. I see a bit of a problem out there, and whether you want to define it as a cyber issue or not, but basically it's around, I would define it as a sort of financial crisis. So what I mean by that is I'm seeing more and more people with expectations financially that aren't in line with their experience and skill set level. So I don't know where these numbers are coming from, but I'm seeing it more and more where it's tough. So look, as a recruiter, and I'm being very upfront here, when it comes to placing people in permanent jobs, we make our money based on placing people in a permanent position, and we generate the invoices based on a percentage of that person's first year annual salary. So to be honest, we're incentivized to get the best offer possible. My problem is I can't see how some of this is sustainable. So look, I want to get people a fair offer for their skills and experience, but I also don't see why and how companies can overpay for it as well. So when I talk about some of this stuff, I'm talking about Australia. I can't comment on other regions and other countries. But I say part of this is actually partly to blame, or because of, I'd say, financial services. So the banks out there pay some pretty decent salaries. And look, that's not just a security thing. That's across industries. So banks tend to have more money than other industries, and they can pay well. But where I see an issue with this is the expectations are creeping in from people in other organisations and other industries. So as someone who's recruited in the IT space for a long time, where I've predominantly seen people getting paid well is sometimes in the consultancies, because consultancies have to overpay because they are expecting their consultants to work bloody hard, long hours, and often travel. So maybe not so much in the security space, but other parts of IT, people would travel a lot for projects, for customers and things like that. So you get compensated for that. Now I'm seeing issues where people are expecting more money for these internal roles, and it's not sustainable. So I've had a position recently, and I had a conversation with the talent acquisition manager. Then they're asking my opinion on their budget and what they want to pay and the feedback they're getting from people in the market. And I agree with them, that they don't want to pay, for example, I'm not going to say the sort of skill set, but let's just say their budget was or is around sort of the 140 level. They're getting quoted people wanting 170, 180. Now, if you are an absolute gun in your space, when I say gun, from an Australian perspective, it means you are excellent. You are very highly skilled and very valued. You're maybe a very senior person, a principal level, you're managing a team, or at least at that sort of level, then you can tend to ask for more money. But when you are not that level, when you don't have that much experience, yet you're asking for the top dollar, there's a problem there, because organizations are not generally going to pay for that. So you are very limited in where you can go. So I don't know if people are taking their research to whether it's Glassdoor or other platforms or what, but my advice is try and speak to people out there and try and get a real gauge of where you are in the industry, because maybe you are compensated well already. And look, in life everybody always wants to earn more money, but sometimes people can price themselves out of positions as well. So an example, last year I was talking to someone who had only 2 years experience in pen testing, and they were working for, I won't say the company, but let's just say within financial services. This person was on a package of around 140,000 Australian dollars. Now that is a lot of money for someone with not much experience. So fair play to that person, but they were unhappy in their role. They wanted a variety of work. They were really limited in terms of what they were doing. So they wanted a new job, wanted a new company. They wanted to be interested in work again. So when I said to them, great, you've got an interesting skill set, these are the companies out there, this is, to be honest with you, this is what they pay and this is what they expect to pay at your level, he was really surprised. Because at 2 years experience, generally people will be getting sort of anything from 80 to 100, 110. There are some anomalies. I did place someone recently on more than that because they warranted that, and again, they earned their company in the consulting some good money. So again, it's what you bring to the table, but what he was looking for was way beyond what any other business was paying. So he had his choice. Does he become more flexible on the financial side or not? And the problem is, or again, it's a nice problem to have, but he decided no, the money was more important and he couldn't take a drop, which I understand because people, once you have a certain level of income, you adjust your costs and things like that. So, but this is the problem. Some industries pay well, some not so much. There are certainly, as I said, industries that will pay more than others, and you've got to really think about what's right for you, what's right for your career. Is it just about the money? Then obviously you know where to go, but if not, then try and think about what's important to you in terms of your career, the opportunities, the learning, the development, the enjoyment, and the culture side of things. So not every person is going to be suited to every business and every industry. But really, I can't see how it is sustainable for businesses if they're going to keep paying like seriously high dollars for experience that maybe doesn't match that yet. So, of course, companies will pay for potential and things like that. But organisations that I'm hearing about, and the feedback is they don't have the budget to match some of these expectations. So there's something not right here. So is it the market not right in terms of the organisations and their budgets, or could it be people's expectations? So maybe it is a mixture of both, but really, as I said, I just can't see how some of those expectations can be sustainable. I want to get people the best offer I can, but within reason. I want a company to be able to afford it, and I don't want that person to price themselves out of the market as well. So look, if you're going to look for a new job, I would definitely speak to people and don't believe job adverts when you see a range. There's always a range. Sometimes it's inflated, sometimes it's not. Especially if it's coming from a recruiter. I know I'm a recruiter myself, but don't always believe that information. I'd really recommend just talk to some professionals out there, maybe people in your network. Money can be an awkward topic because you don't maybe want to discuss that between friends and what each other are earning, but maybe just ask for a guide, ask for other people's opinions, because you may be surprised. Maybe you are in line with expectations of the market and then you're fine. But if you are looking for 10, 15, 20% more than what other people are getting in that space, then there could be an issue. So do your homework, don't rely on things like Glassdoor, do your own research, speak to real people, and hopefully that will give you more opportunities as well. So look, I hope it helps some people. In the meantime, have a great day.